Okay, we're going to talk about approximating irrational numbers with our student Luke. Ready to go, Luke?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do a little bit of review here. An irrational number is one that cannot be represented by a ratio or a fraction of integers. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So now let's look at a couple of other characteristics which you probably also know. So one is that there's no repeating decimal. The decimal will go on forever on an irrational number with no pattern to it. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. And the second is it can't be placed at an exact place on the number line. Remember?
Yeah.
Okay. So it can't be placed at an exact place, and we can't get an exact decimal, but we can do what's called approximating to get an approximate decimal value for the irrational number. Do you know what the word approximate means?
Like exact? Or not exact?
Not exact. It's close to it, right?
Yeah.
So there were approximately 30,000 people in the stadium. There weren't exactly 30,000 people in the stadium, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing here with an irrational number. So we're going to use the irrational number square root of 5, okay?
Okay.
So the square root of 5 is saying there's some number out there that when you multiply it by itself, it equals 5. Okay? Square root of 5 times square root of 5 would be 5. So, okay, let's make a table of squares here with just the integers. So here I'm putting 0 through 4, and then I'm putting that number squared. So 0 squared is 0, 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
3 squared is 9. Okay, now there's some number out there, it's called the square root of 5, that when you multiply it by itself, it equals 5. So if we look in this here, it must be bigger than this row, right? And it must be smaller than this row, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll put a little arrow there. So it's somewhere right in there. So what can we say about the square root of 5? It must be between what two numbers?
2 squared and 3 squared.
It's actually between 2 and 3.
Oh.
Okay, so we can say the square root of 5 is between 2 and 3 because it's got to be a little bit bigger than 2 because 2 squared is only 4, and we need something that multiplies by itself to get 5. And 3 squared is too big because that's 9, and we need something that's only 5. Okay? So now we've said, okay, square root of 5 is between 2 and 3. Excellent. Now, what if we wanted to go to a deeper decimal place? Let's go to the tenths, okay? So we're going to approximate it further. So we'll go over here, and I'm going to give another table that is all the numbers between 2 and 3 to the tenths place. You see that on the left column here?
Yeah.
Okay, and what I did is I took a calculator, or you can use a spreadsheet even faster, and I squared this number. So 2 times itself, or 2.0 times itself, is just 4.00. All the way down here, 3 times itself is 9. And then here's everything in between. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. There's some number in here, or there's some range in here, that's going to equal 5. What would it have to be between? Which two numbers on the left-hand side would it have to be between?
2.2 and 2.3.
Exactly right. And how did you know that?
Because 4.84 is smaller than 5, and 5.29 is bigger, and they're right next to each other, so.
Exactly. Okay, good. So we'll go ahead and make our statement down here that square root of 5 is between 2.2 and 2.3. Okay? Let's go to the hundreds place right now. Okay? So I'll make another table over here, and now I've taken 2.2 and 2.3, and I've put all the numbers in between them to the hundreds place. So here's 2.2, way down here is 2.3, and I have 2.21, 2.22. See how that goes?
Yeah.
Okay? Now, which of these numbers does the square root of 5 have to be between?
2.24 and 2.25.
Okay, let's...
Or actually...
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
And 2.26.
So you're saying it should be here, but actually 5.01 is bigger than 5, right?
Yeah.
So what does it have to be between? Which two numbers here?
2.23 and 2.24.
That's right, because 4.97 blah, blah, blah is a little too small. 5.017 is a little bit too big, right? So it's got to be right in there. And so then what statement can we make down here? Square root of 5 is between what?
2.23 and 2.24.
Exactly right. Now, you probably won't actually do this, right, and create these tables. What would you do if you really wanted to find the square root of 5?
Just keep going.
You could keep going, but if you wanted a really simple way, what would you do? What tool would you use?
Calculator?
Yeah, you'd use a calculator. You wouldn't make all... I mean, if you're going to make a table like this, you'd probably use a calculator for these numbers, right? So if you can use a calculator, you'd probably just put in square root of 5. But it's good for you to know that that's how your calculator even finds the square root of 5. it keeps going, doing this process, and it takes it to the thousandths and the 10,000ths place and all the way in order to approximate the irrational number. Get it?
Yeah.
Good job.